take a little time, do something that I've enjoyed doing for the greater part of my life. It's gonna be a lot of fun. It's gonna be borderline effortless. It's a little 16.
Welcome to my live.
Since last week. Let's go. Studying Don's details, more unique than seashells. Rappers and producers, they washed up beach whales. Those ships set sail. Miss us with those fairy tales for the dogs. Rest in peace, storm train.
Big bills, grandma used to take us shopping at Bloomingdale's. Leave the JVs to heaven, the depths in hell. Change about drinking money, never size to sell. Skip biology by 15, justice inside the cell. Rappers couldn't think nothing with their hand scale. Suburban youth live in the street, we got our hands held. Shine never evil, how we see it, might as well. Thank you, Lord, weekly transactions from the Zelle. Time the difference between men and males who live long enough to plan back a plan fail. Social media is show and tell, but don't show yourself. As the next of a generation, 30 years at the coattail. Nothing left to last, my race is over, I forget
What's the math? So much wisdom in my youth, I take my age for granted. What's the math called? 1, 2, everything is
frequency. I start to study colors since my name ain't blue.
No metaphysical nigga babble, it's literal. I said it's frequencies, if I wave then I gonna blow. Just stick with me like I am blue. I put the melody in your spine, you rock it raccoon. You cool, clearly your efforts detrimental to just your people. I rob whoever got the cake, so we not equal. Even the Bible say brothers deceitful. I put the hole through a cow with this phony nigga, you bet he see through. Spit out the shell, you allergic to seafood. I put the gun down and box a nigga, hit you with combos from seafood. Born through my mother, inherently evil. So until I ask for forgiveness, the devil's smiling, doing what we do. Nigga.
Welcome to the live.
We're gonna take a little time, do something that I've enjoyed doing for the greater part of my life. It's gonna be a lot of fun. It's gonna be borderline effortless.
Well, we don't want to only play that song.
16.
Let's
last week. Let's go.
Play.
Studying Don's.
Right. Welcome to the live. Office hours. This is what we got done today for yesterday. We'll make sure this is low enough. Yeah, that should be low enough. And there's a lot of love for everything he does. Two cracker showing Rud. So basically, why we made this document. So yesterday, we do, outside of our recording sessions and engineering sessions, we do infrastructure sessions. That's really what we help, if we help anything over here at Let's Talk Beats, is rappers and producers build infrastructure. And it's super significant because a lot of artists, they're super talented with creative expression. They're super talented with putting together ideation to create projects and create music, but where there's a gap, they struggle with infrastructure. So an example of infrastructure for a producer would be the infrastructure of how are you filing your sounds? What do your download folders look like? What do your recording sessions folders look like? Do you have a system? And of course we all have systems, but our systems could be more optimized. Once upon a time I would have named the beat downloads 1 2 3 4 5 10 9 8 6 6 5 4 2 3 4 what? And that's what the beat would have been named. That's not really good for infrastructure. So basically, during our session yesterday, we had the infrastructure session, and we had a lot of files that we had accumulated into our download folder. So anytime you download something off our browser, it goes into our download folder. So if, for an example, some of our products, we download them off of our store, now they're in our download folder, but they actually have a home somewhere. So this documented basically recorded every file that was present and where it was moved and what further action, if any, is required to fully integrate it. We didn't delete any files. What does it say? All the files were either installed into an active hierarchy, moved to the external drives, or archived. So why would we archive them? So we install the hierarchy. It's active. So we create these documents just to make sure that our infrastructure is running smoothly. So the files that were copied, you see the file path, and they were moved to the archives after we installed them. So like example, like a file, like the first one is like the post session sh. That's a script that we run. So when we run that script, that creates 4 documents specifically. So like a song like you hear in the background, it'll create a file for the song with our formatting on our branded material. It will then create a tracker to where we itemize every single verse. So why is this useful for artists? And this is what we help artists, or rather we guide them. Kind of a lot of times we hold hands to create these types of systems, because without them, professionally, as a career, the liberal arts and the music business is going to chew guys alive, because they don't really have these infrastructure. So we create these files, and then it's the type that specifically is a shell script. And then you got the disposition. All of them are installed. It tells you the file location and actions that are needed. So if there's a bug in the script, if there is an update, so say we add new rules. So say instead of, I want to know how many times I rhymed a specific word. What word was the most rhymed on word in a verse? You say, well, why is that important? Well, it's good information. I could put that into my script, but then if I did that on my next document of like this disposition log, action would be needed. It would be needed. My instructions of my script would need to be updated, because now we've created a new rule for it. And that new rule is, well, what is the most rhymed word? All right, cool. Then we have the Python, which is a coding language. That's where the script runs that basically, again, executes what's inside of the previous script. And then we have our write tracker. All of these, none of them need anything right now because we haven't updated them, and they're running perfectly fine. And so it created an Excel file that we generated that basically it took a copy of everything that we have in our session data for whatever that session is for that day. So these things are automatic. We have them on automations. We just run the script and then it happens. And got our stream tracker. So like, let's just say, yeah, man, be careful what you download. I definitely understand that without question. Now, don't download crazy links. Don't click any links. I can tell off your name. Yeah, I understand. You know a little something. And like I said, none of this is really sensitive. You know, it is confidential for our internal, but it's like a behind the scenes. Watch me work as I end my work day, as I get ready to do some other things. Then I'm going to start that up right now just to make sure that we're ready to go. So if I see something, I can catch it, I'm going to catch it. But so let's just go back to the top so we can get like an example of like session data. So it's archive, ref front dome, archive 4. So let's go to that path. So we're going here. go to documents, and I will more than likely clean this up too. But let's go into Let's Talk Beats. Go into Red Front Dome, archive, close that down, close that down, close that down. Let's go back to our document. Where does it say it is? 07 Red Front Dome. So now, excuse me, we go to 7, which is strange because it's saying that's audio recordings, but that's not accurate. So I'm gonna have to fix that. There's nothing there. Archive, but see it says archive 07, 04 session notes. So let's just confirm. 04 session notes. So I went to 7 thinking it's audio recording when it's 07 Red Front Dome, because Red Front Dome archive is the 7th project inside of my script. So my script runs multiple different file documents that are generated. So we got like our backup staging, our brand assets, our shared resources. We got 90 day, we do 90-day business launches. That's also part of my program over here, that when I'm guiding artists and rappers and producers, we got a 90-day launch runway. Basically, concept to cash positive, 90 days. And no more of this, I made 2,500 off features, and I'm okay with that, which is fine. But then it's not repeatable. It's one to here to go. So now we build those systems and those infrastructures. So 90 days, create something that is generated, even if it's $25 a day. If it's, I would like to say the benchmark for the artist is $60 a day. So a lot of times, you know, artists charge each other, rappers, producers, you know, leases, licenses, and things of that nature, but it's not recurring. So it's like, okay, yeah, you can have a good month. You can have $50 this month. You can have $150 this month, $700 this month. Why don't we create an infrastructure and a system that guarantees that from your music, you get $60 a day? Let's just start there. Can we generate $60 a day? What do we need to create? What products need to be made? What do you already have available that can be put out to your audience that is enhancing their life, and they leave feeling like they got a deal? So, you know, a lot of artists, rappers, specifically producers, we overlook these type of things. We're not thinking, oh, can I make $60 a day off my music? It's, well, how long can I make it off of streams? Well, how much money can I make off of selling vinyls? How much money can I make off of selling CDs? Things of that nature. And rarely is it ever like a daily activity. So that's what, one of the things we help do over here. So let's go ahead and open up the reform for the session notes. And so now you see here all these different session notes. So let's just look at the ones we made for last night. That was the work that we did today. Just gonna open up an Excel file for us. So it's very simple. It's very basic information, but from that basic information, so this is for our verse. So let me just drag this over here. You can see that. So everything is right. Let's just organize that. Right. All right. So it'll take this information, where that data is. It happens to be a rhyme. Get a standout lyric, and then that creates. That's the session note. So then it creates our session intelligence. So for every verse, right, you get who's the artist, what it is, the title, how many bars, what date it was done, we score it, what the method was, we create the verse metadata, verse statistics. So these are the type of granular like details that I think as artists, a lot of times we overlook. We don't even think about it. Like, and at this point, like for myself as an artist, I got 5,000 sessions. I've been recording music since 2007 consistently every year. Not a few years, no breaks. So it's impossible for me to say, manage myself and it be an administrator for all of my content that I've created over those years, which is why it's important to have systems like this to where I could, like the song that you hear playing right now in the background, I could transcribe that, put that to in a document, then I could run my script and run my commands, and it's going to create this document for me. See, it doesn't have rhyme patterns and intensity. I need to update that. I got to figure out why that's missing information. And everything is a score and gives it a score to my framework. Signature techniques, that's something else that we work with artists with. So a lot of artists is just creative expression. But what are your techniques? Signature. Like for the music I create, philosophical aphorisms, global and cultural anchoring, spiritual, moral self-examination, and poetic imagery. That's what I touch on every song. My style. A lot of artists, like if I ask them on a granular level, like that's something that we work out, like help them to identify, okay, what are your signature techniques? What are like 5 things that we can guarantee, like if somebody were to just pick up your song and listen to your verse today, what are those 5 things? And a lot of times artists don't even know that for themselves. Like they haven't even kind of taken that level of reflection. So that's something that we work on together in one-on-ones. This script also, like, what's the life context? So like for this beat, it say this verse was written June 2025. It carries the energy of someone operating from a position of established creative conviction rather than ongoing struggle. The reference to this 4 seasons and the Sheridan suggests a person navigating different economic registries simultaneously. The heralded question implies a sustained awareness of being misunderstood or out of step with prevailing creative norms. The whisper refrains at the close suggest a private acknowledgement of absence that the artist chose not to make public noise about. And there's like discovery is what it discovers, and then any follow-up actions. And like these type of things, I think is super cool, because otherwise, like I would have to do that all manually. I don't want to do that manually. Question: are you a artist or do you just consider yourself one? That's a really good question. Traditionally, I've always resisted any type of box of a false identity. So, am I considered an artist? Some people would consider me an artist, yes. If you define it as, so let's just say like this, for example. How many tracks do we have? How many? So let's just say how many albums? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 albums, 9 songs each. So would that make me an artist? I suppose so. But do I really consider myself an artist? Not really. It's just an aspect of my personality. I'm a lot of things. But that's a great question, actually. Who said that? Dante. Yeah, that's a good question. Back to today's work. Like I said, 'cause these are the afternoon office hours. So this like stuff like kind of the administrative work that kind of gets done behind the scenes. It's just necessary for us. So like this is a good one to look at. Let's look at the verse catalog. And we're just building this now. We're just starting this to build out. At this point, we have hundreds of verses. And so where's that? That is at file location, active scripts. So let's go back to our Finder. That's saying active scripts. Where would that be? File path, documents, active script. Where would that be? That's not an accurate file path. It needs more information. Until the kingdom come. for fun. When they said that they was won, thanks to time, we on the face where we chase the sun. Okay, so right, just to get heard again. Download. So this is in my download folder. Active scripts needs to be probably moved out of download. And so this would be where all of my updated active scripts go. So what's the most recent one? Today, session data. Let's see what that looks like. So we got that open already. So let's close this one. That might be that one. Don't save. May ripped off the band-aid, ripped off the band-aid. If you want to look for active scripts. Active script, doing it from dawn does it as a gift from God, that's a gift of man, but it's against all laws. Mercy not what we deserve, guilty as charged. Don't hang with too many rappers, cause most of them frauds. Where's the actual file? What is it? Right, here's the file. So the verse catalog. Right, that's what we're looking for. I'm trying to why am I not seeing it? But I do see it. So let's go back to the downloads, verse catalog, and we'll just go to the one. We have to actually correct this conflict of where you see that one. So every time we download it, it downloads with a 1. That's just the logic of Finder. But what we want to have, we have our file naming rules. So what we want when a file downloads, we want it to come with a new version, not that number 1, so we know which one that we've been working on and which one came previously. This is just a duplicate copy of what was there before. Alright, so if you look down, I'll make this larger so you can see it on the screen. I know it's difficult to see a lot of text documents on mobile, but like we have the read me first. So read me first, this kind of tells you everything, what it does, the who, what, where, why, how it scores. Like I said, the 5 signature techniques. And like I said, this is kind of the systems that we help build for other artists. Man, who can, man? You can, yeah, man. Welcome back to the live. I told you, man, there's that. You got a name, man. It's, you say what it say, alignment. You're talking about the man who can. Me and my pops talk about it. The man who can versus the man who can't. And who that man looks like throughout the day. Who that man is. You know what I'm saying? Like, the man who can and the man who can't. And I say your name is the man you can. Man can't make this type of stuff up. So let me go to like the verse catalog. So now, at this point I have hundreds of verses, right? But I have not ran all of those verses through this said system. So when I run them through this system, that's how I joke around like with my rapper friends. Like I, on a scale of like 1 to 10, if we're gonna scale the art, I have it written a 5 in a long time, a 6, a 7, at least not for my system. So the date is prior on my source. A lot of my content I create, my songs, we make them live. Like that's just how it goes. But each time we update, we run our script, it's gonna update and it'll add this, and we don't have to put any of this information in manually. We just have to basically upload the verse. I'm working on creating a system like this similar that outputs this data for anybody who's an artist who wants to have something like this for themselves. So this is the session log. This is a different script, but it connects to the verses as well. So basically what it does, so like how I do it, I run different times. Like right now, this would be a different type of session, so I actually have to kind of create the it's not really like the category, but that'd be the best way that I can understand it, is I have to create the category for this type of session. So what type of session is this? This is an after hours office hours or afternoon office hours. I have extended office hours when we working well over the clock, well into that evening, afternoon. So like for this stream, this is, what's this called? I think this is called, what I call this? I don't even know what I call this stream. What did I call this stream? It's something like 5 p.m. office hours, something like that. Behind the scene, that's what that sessions would be titled. And it would be filed right there. But like I said, I don't have to do that. And if I really wanted to get it super sophisticated, I could connect the YouTube API to my script. So my script calls on the YouTube API to extract all that data from the actual live stream and put that information in here. It gets left to waste, but not in the mind. I'm just defining the mind. I like this one right here. I'm gonna turn this up. Nah. To they raps, hear no juice in they rhymes.
Came a long way from nickel beers and friendly confines. You a dummy, you trust the love who went to Pembroke Pines. Hit my lines, take my arms, still find a way to climb.
I'm gonna run that back. That's called Set the Pace. It's off my project, no need to stress. Watch how you approach. Just can tell by the way you rap, you never had to kill a roach.
We can take it coast to coast, raise the toast. You know who gon' do the most. Pray when I die, my goals go with the heavenly host. Can't serve two masters to be faithful to both. Not big enough to be a sinner, but big fella guard the post. Dimes, yes, yes, and his no is his no. Never took a silent oath. Lay that story untold, paid the toll. The truth is no such thing as control. Get left out in the cold for not carrying a heavy load. Still much love for lovies we've outgrown. Love can't be shown when it's hate down to the bone. Years in solitude, our God never left us alone. Stayed in the zone for all those nights we was running them red lights, praying that we make it home. Dime sets the pace. This once in a lifetime can never be replaced. Phonies holding up space for the dreams we chase. Nothing gets left to wait. Most light in the mind. Dime dense is what they find in the mind. Perhaps it's just a sign of the times. Shift the paradigm. When I listen to they rap, I don't hear no truth in they rhymes. Came a long way from nickel beers and friendly confines. You a dummy, you trust the love who went to Pembroke Pines. Hit in my lines, take my arms, still find a way to climb. God himself put forgiveness in this heart of mine. You cross the line when the stars align. But just a super deterministic, so it's by design. Trust the words, so I'm not out here looking for a sign. Why would we have soda? We could have water or wine. Hold the line, it's the golden time. Soon to be forgotten, sunset, say goodbye to the shine. That's fine. Go ahead, let them whine. N-bomb quick, grind. Dime sets the pace. This once in a lifetime can never be replaced. Phonies holding up space for the dreams we chase. Nothing gets left to wait. Dime sets the pace. This once in a lifetime can never be replaced. Phonies holding up space for the dreams we chase. Nothing gets left to wait.
Yeah, that's a good one. I like that one a lot. Let's see what's this one right here. And I like that lot of ball too. Vision, flying all over the globe was my decision. Called just a globetrotter, how great he dishing. Get to the money so fast without permission. Dime love the ball. Money stacked like a giant 10 feet tall. Dime love the ball. Dime love the ball. Money stacked like a giant 10 feet tall. Nothing like these rappers who they hate. I came early and this came late. Ask me how I'm doing, love it great. Every day I eat shrimp or steak. When it come to having a worldview, we got vision. Flying all over the globe was my decision. Called just a globetrotter, the way he dishing. So right now I'm looking at a panic log that we built via script. It basically tells us, so basically we run a vintage hardware for our audio interface. It's probably like 3 generations back right now. They're probably on the I think they're probably like on the Ultralight 5. I run Motu products. I'm not endorsed by anybody. We don't take endorsements over here. Completely self-funded. But Motu is my personal go-to for audio interfaces. Had a Scarlett, all those, you know. Native Instrument, all those different type of interfaces, but the sound we like the most, we like that sound we get with the Motu. But because we run like 3 generations back, it doesn't interface with the M4 chip. So M4 chips, basically, it's a silicon processor. So that processor doesn't really run well with the drivers of, like I say, previous generations of audio interfaces. So what happens is when the M4 MacBook goes to sleep, because of the USB hub that the interface is connected to, it creates basically a hiccup. So the operating system shuts itself down because it's like a panic error. So I basically create these logs that allow me to know. So every time that happens and I get that error log, if you are a Mac user, what you would usually have happen is it'll give you a whole kind of like a window pop up with a detailed breakdown of everything that happened, but it's all going to be in like computer terminology. So what we do is we run it through a script, we run it through a process. That script interprets all of that binary kind of code that the error report gives, and then extracts from that in what I call granular instruction. That's the way I learned. I almost didn't make it out of high school. 0.51 GPA. I went on though to go to get my education, but I need things explained to me granularly. It can't be abstract. Or before we get to the abstract, it needs to be simple before we get to complex. And so we had 2 panics on the 22nd and on the 23rd. So we ran this comparative analysis. See, the error is going to come like with these fault addresses. How do I interpret what that is? Like, I didn't get a computer science degree. But what is Moto driver loaded? We know it's that Moto loader. So it says like what the match proves. The identical codes offset 0x69 FDO across 2 boots with different ASLR. Slides proves the kernel is hitting the same instruction in the same function every time. This is a deterministic software bug triggered by a specific sequence of events during wake from sleep, not a random hardware glitch or transit memory corruption. So what that tells me is this only happens when my MacBook goes to sleep and then when it tries to wake up. So it's trying to wake up, it's trying to get that signal from the interface. The signal from the interface is going into the USB hub, but the communication between the interface, the USB hub, and the MacBook, that's creating a catastrophic event. That's my thesis. So then we have it extract from like that binary information that would be almost impossible for what I say without a computer science degree to really interpret. So it's an interface mismatch, simply put. So the I/O registry discovery resolved the central question of this investigation. The Motu Ultralight MK3 hybrid is physically connected via USB, but the kernel driver managing it is com.motu.driver.firewire audio, a driver built around FireWire bus semantics. This is a dual interface device that can connect via FireWire or USB, and Motu ships a single driver package that handles both. However, FireWire and USB have fundamentally different sleep-wake re-enumeration protocols. And so it's like, what does that even mean? Basically, it's crashing the operating system when it tries to wake up. So we can say maybe I should not use USB, maybe I should try FireWire. But like I said, it's outdated as the generation of drivers specifically. He goes on to say that when a Mac sleeps, USB devices are powered down and must be fully re-enumerated on wake. The USB host controller resets, rediscovers devices on the bus, and reestablishes connections from scratch. A driver written primarily around FireWire bus resets semantics where devices maintain their identity across power transitions. More predictably, may expect the device object to be present immediately on wake. If the USB subsystem has not yet finished re-establishing the connection, the driver differences a null handle. It dereferences a null handle. This matched the crash evidence precisely. The null pointer in registry XO, the fault address offset 0x8, a typical V table, a first member access pattern, and the locate error code 0xe00002D6 in X19 all point to the driver attempting to interact with the device.
Lessons ingrained that got caught in our brains. Might get lost in the rain, but don't struggle in vain. Where the wounds remain, but there's nothing to gain. Hard to explain, we ain't experienced similar pain. Lessons ingrained that got caught in our brains. Might get lost in the rain, but don't struggle in vain. Where the wounds remain, but there's nothing to gain.
So with that said, appreciate everybody who stopped by. We've been here for about 30 minutes. We got some other things to go do. And we'll be back around, like I said, midnight. Had household duties. Gotta handle that. Stack your crumbs up into a whole loaf. Appreciate everybody who stopped by, everybody who dropped a comment. Man, you can. Who else? Dante, Dark Crypto, Renante. Appreciate y'all coming to tune into the session. With that said, may this reach you up, happy and healthy in the land of the living. Much love, respect, and peace. And
we ain't experienced similar pain. Lessons ingrained that got caught in our brains.